across the eastern plains, then going down south, down towards Pueblo. And when he first sees Pike's Peak off on the side, well, it appears to look like a blue cloud up on the horizon. As he gets closer, he realizes it's actually a mountain. And Zebulon Pike actually called Pike's Peak Grand Peak. Thought it was an elevation of about 20,000 feet rather than the 14,110 feet or 14,115 feet with GPS now. But this is a pack similar to what Pike would have carried, canvas, and they painted them. And the reason why they painted them was to keep it waterproof. There was two different types of packs. I picked the blue one instead of the burgundy one because I just thought the Pike would have had his bedroll. Simple wool blanket. The thing about wool, if it gets wet, it's very warm. This is kind of neat. This is an image that you see of Zebulon Pike. Very neat. This is the spy glass that we could look and check it out. Canteen. Pike liked to mark all his stuff with the U.S. emblem. Yeah, so everybody knew he was a U.S. soldier. Now, the thing about the wooden canteen, when you first add water to it, it would leak like a sieve. Eventually, the wood will swell and will seal up, and it makes a pretty good canteen for holding water. Same concept with the water bucket. This is very sharp. Be careful with this. It's a hatchet. One of the necessities that they had for cutting firewood or building their homes. Actual. Very sharp. Now we'll get into the contents of the pack here. Kind of neat. This is wool blanket. Would have been a trade item with the Indians. It's lightweight, it's warm, and it's easier to handle. Other trade items, because as they were heading out exploring the Southwest, when they encountered the local Indians, they would barter and trade. So prior to the Indians having beads, they were using porcupine quill, very time consuming. So when the white man introduced these glass beads to them, it was like gold. They really liked the blue, like the sky. Mirror. Imagine the first time you ever saw yourself in a mirror. Bells. The Indians had never seen anything quite like that. These were kind of peculiar. Thimbles, because along with the beads, the needle, metal needle in the thimble. So once they got the hang of it, then they understood what it was for.
When things hot chocolate, all the sound in our food. Hot chocolate.
That it is.
Hi.
This is deer hide, deer skin, very soft. A tool that they would have used, this is an awl, or a hand drill. And what they would do is, if they need to make a hole in it, they would just start twisting like that. And they would puncture it, make a hole. So that is the early day hand drill. Very important for making repairs. This is kind of interesting. Very pretty too. And I'll let you zoom in on it because the artwork's kind of interesting. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think this is?
I don't know.
It's organic.
Oh, really?
Do you want to smell it? You want to know what you just smell?
Uh-huh.
Buffalo chip.
Oh, really?
No, just kidding. This is actually black tea that Pike would use and his men would use for ink. So they'd scrape off a little bit of the black tea, mix it with water, and use it for their ink,
Oh, okay.
for their journal. So I just didn't make you smell buffalo gum. I'll show you something really cool. 2 years ago when the Pike family came out, I covered everything with leather too because I figured Pike traveling with the Indians, there would have been plenty of leather. This is a journal similar to what Pike would have had. And when their family came out 2 years ago, 1806, 2006, I met them on Summit. And I had them sign my guest book. So these are all descendants of Zebulon Pike.
Wow.
Signed my guest book. This is a real piece of history right here. I told them at the next family gathering in 50 years, I'm still around, I'll have them sign in or I'll have whoever takes over my place sign in. You can check this out. This is a pencil similar to what they used in its graphite lead in there.
Uh-huh.
They would have used this during the winter when it was really cold, when it was not so cold. He would have used, this is really neat too, by the way. This is the ink and quill that he would have used to write in his journal.
Yeah, that's it.
It's falling apart. What do you think this is?
Yesterday.
What do you think this is?
Maybe a root or something?
A root?
Yeah.
What do you think it is, ma'am?
I think it's probably like dung or something.
Dung?
No?
Oh, it's not animal scat.
Okay.
When I first saw it, that's what I thought. Okay, I'll give you a hint.
Oh, tobacco.
It's a tobacco twist. And so this is a replica of an 1806 pipe. If you look at the front, do you see the artwork on the front there?
Oh.
Do you see that? That is the Surgeon General's early warning on the tobacco. It's a cross in the skull. Bones.
It's freezing, but full sunshine, blue sky.
So this would have been something they would have done with the Indians is share their tobacco. Peace pipe. 62. Another thing would have been a trade item Because prior to the Indians smoking tobacco, they had their own little plants that they would smoke. So this was a good trade item with the Indians as well.
Okay.
This is buffalo, pie, very thick. This is deer. To show you the difference, thickness there. So it would have been a trade item. Because as they were coming across on their expedition, they had to repair their clothing because it would wear out. And this comes in place. Every one of Pike's men, even Pike, had one of these. And this is called the housewife. And it's funny because this is 1806. Here it is, 2008. Us people, us women, we still use these. It's a sewing kit. Isn't that neat? That's how they made their repairs. There's sinew. There's buttons. There's a little wooden thimble. If you look at our sewing kits now, they're quite similar. Buttons, thread, scissors. This is a great trade item. Little pocket knife. And nothing like the pocket knives that we have now. This doesn't have a safety, so think about how many people cut themselves or their fingers off. Salt. Zebulon Pike talks about in his journal eating buffalo meat with no salt. So not very tasty. No corner store, so if you run out, you'll run out. This is kind of neat. One of the navigational tools that Pike would have used. If I can get it open.
Yeah, I have to think of that.
Compass. He also used a sextant and some other nautical tools. And of course, the stars, the skies. This wouldn't have been a trade item. This just would have been what each one of them had, and they would have worn it underneath their belt for protection.
507.
And if you look on this, some of the stuff I displayed it like this. But what one item on here do you think Pike traded straight across for a horse? Any idea?
Not really.
The mirror. Straight across. Traded a mirror for a
I
horse.
probably won't sell those fish, but
You ever heard of hardtack?
Pardon?
Hardtack. It was a source of food. Very hard. Break your teeth. But what they would do, this is like a cracker. They would soak it in the juice, and then they would eat it. This lasts a long time. No preservatives. Pretty dry.
yeah, no, I haven't had
This is kind of neat. I like this. In the evening, when Pike would set up camp, he would sit in his tent because he was an officer, and he would write in his journal by candlelight. So this is a little lantern.
I've read the leaves changing because it's not frozen fish.
Made out of beeswax and tallow.
586.
And of course, they had their shaving. So there's their shaver, their straight edge shaver, comb, their brush. So they, keep themselves clean. I had lice soap. One of these. quite, oh, there it is. This is lice up. Cleans really good. This is made from wood ash, water, and animal fat.
637.
Their silverware, this is made out of horn, a wooden spoon, knife and a fork. They had to have some entertainment, so they would play dice games. Some of the soldiers would take their lead balls and form them into a little square and make their own dice too. This was a form of entertainment, whittling, and this would have been a good trade item with the Indians because it was magic. How did they get that ball stuck in there? Their cards. There's another hand drill there, and then some of the S-hooks to hang their Dutch oven on fire or their coffee pot. And I think that's pretty much all the contents of that I have is a Pike's pack. The average pack weighed about 65 pounds.
Wow.
I forgot one more thing. This would have been very important.
I've been selling on it and stuff like that.
They probably carried this around their neck. Wouldn't want to lose it.
Like today, somebody bought two.
It's a fire starter. What they would do is to take dry grass, like pretend this is dry grass, and make like a little indentation. Then this is charred cloth. I keep it in the plastic or else my fingers will get all black. But this is 100% cotton that's been burnt. They put a little bit inside their nest, and they would take their carbon steel striker here that the blacksmith would make, and then their flint, and they would make their sparks. I actually watched the Army Corps of Engineers make a fire in less than 5 minutes. It was very impressive, and I thought, I want to be able to do that, but then we had a fire ban that summer, and I didn't want to start a forest fire, so I couldn't do that. It's still on the drawing board. And a magnifying glass. You could always use a magnifying glass to start fires. You can still get these at Mountain Inn Rendezvous.
Wow.
That concludes the contents. On Pike's first expedition on the Mississippi, he went to take a temperature of the river with his thermometer and lost it, dropped it, gone. So I figured on his southwestern expedition, he would have tethered everything. So if he dropped it, it wouldn't be lost forever. So that's why on my journal here I tethered this, and I just thought that was kind of an interesting point to bring up.